Welcome back, fellow Dream Warriors, to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Zeztz, Episode 9. So, last week, we saw, Baku, our beloved Dream Warrior / Dream Master, whichever you prefer, got attacked by this poison nightmare who was trying to infect Nem, if you remember. But Baku saves her from the poison, but in turn, he got poisoned, and he looks like he's on the verge of dying. Because in the real world, you see poor Minami, and she is experiencing a Nightmare in Elm Street moment. Yes, because she is seeing her brother just in pain, in his sleep. She's trying to wake him up, but she cannot do it. And so the show ended with Baku, dying. He dead. And so we continue where we left off, where Mem and Minami in both worlds were trying to wake Baku up, while at the same time you see the poison nightmare trying to, sneak up on poor Nem. But then Nox came in between, and he's just like, no, do not harm her. Let's just walk away. I mean, Baku is pretty much dead at this point, so just let us walk away. Just don't deal with her. She's fine. She's cool. So they both disappear. And so Nem was like, okay, I don't know what to do. And Baku is dying, so I have to think of something. And so she figured, okay, let me use the new capsium, the recovery capsium, and see if it will heal him. So she puts the capsium on the gun and shoots. She shoots on him, and you see the blast just like push her off from the hospital surgery area to a new place in the dream world. And then it's like, whoa, what the hell was that? And you see, Baku's corpse there, and you see, his suit, dissolving. And then Baku comes to. He is alive. And in the real world, you see Minami just crying and be like, oh my god, my brother's dead. And then you see Baku's like, oh, like life was brought back to him. And Minami's like, oh, thank God. Thank God. And so you see the blast, knock her off. And Minami successfully saves Baku from the poison. And I told you guys before, the villains leave. And Baku just approaches Nem and just thanks her for, saving his life. And Nem is like, I owe you, for what you did for me. And Baku's like, thank you, but don't you ever do that again. I mean, come on, Baku. I mean, sometimes you have to let her do things in order to save your life. I mean, come on. Just let her do what she needs to do. Like, I understand that, what she did was kind of dangerous, but hey, she saved your life. So I'm sure you wouldn't think otherwise. I mean, it's Nem, your supposed girlfriend. I saw the way you looked at her when Zero was presenting her with a rose, and you gave that dirty look on your face. So yeah. So be grateful. But yeah, Baku's like, don't you ever do that again. But, thank you so much. And then our beloved chef Sano just appears out of nowhere. And he is crawling and whatnot. Because remember, Baku healed him from the poison. But yet he's still kind of weak. And he shows up, and he's just like gingerly crawling. And Baku and Nem approach him like, hey, like, relax, you're safe. And Chef Nano says, like, I won't let it end. The restaurant is our soul. And both Nem and Baku just stare at each other. I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, chef? What do you mean? And so In the next scene, you see Baku using the recovery calcium to restore the soul chefs that, they were poisoned in the last episode. One of them was poisoned off screen, and the other one was the one who was like, hey, I just followed the recipe to the T. What do you mean it doesn't have the royal taste? Remember that disgruntled chef? So Baku heals them both. And Nox is, speaking of Nox, we go to the next scene. We immediately transition from Baku healing the chefs to Nox at his apartment, castle, whatever it is, penthouse. And he is very happy because you look at him, he is looking at the page that he saw, that he looks at. And he just pets the green side circle, and he's like all happy that he finally found what he was looking for after God only knows how long. And the question is, why is he desperately searching for that specific calcium? I assume he's going to use it to heal Nem, because Nem is still in a coma. So I'm guessing that he is trying to heal Nem and wake her up. But then again, I don't know, because Nem is the source of all the nightmares, because it's, you see all these butterflies just flying around her. And yeah, Nem doesn't know if she is conjuring up these butterflies, these nightmares, of course. But I get the feeling that Nox isn't planning on waking her up just yet. Who knows? But I'm just throwing there as a wild guess. Okay, so we go to the hospital after the opening credits. Baku wakes up and he's like, what the hell am I? And then Minami shows up and tells him, like, Baku, what the hell? Like, you scared me to death. Like, you died for a couple of minutes and you came back and I was trying to wake you up. Like, I was experiencing a scene out of Nightmare on Elm Street. What the hell? Are you fighting Freddy? What the hell? And Minami, like, she's overly protected towards her brother with good reason. I get it. But yeah, you're gonna have to ease off, but eventually she will once Baku tells her, hey, I'm Zeztz, I'm a dream warrior, and I'm fighting nightmares and the potential Freddy Krueger of the show, so yeah, I'm doing a job. And guess what? I don't have to get cursed in the real world. I don't have to step on poop or get shocked by a UFO or lit on fire. It's just everything is cool and dandy, and no white trucks of doom, because that pilot episode I got ran over. Yeah, I'm helping and saving people in my dreams, Minami. But that's not gonna happen until in the middle of maybe episodes 30 into 40, I'm guessing. But in any case, Minami is being overly protective, and she's like, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna stay put on at this hospital bed. You're not going anywhere. And it's funny because when Baku tries to leave, Minami assumes that, hey, you're not gonna go because of your job, because of your job you nearly died in your sleep. So stay put. And she leaves, and these random nurses and doctors just shows up and just presented an X while Minami was talking, like, you're not leaving this room. And you see like a nurse and a doctor or two were like doing the X thing out of nowhere, and like, oh, that was weird. But what's even more weirder is when she leaves, and, Baku is pouting, and he's like, look, I can't stay here. I need to go to the spy room and talk to Mulder and Scully and zero what I found and all that stuff. And Mulder just shows up just from outside the window. Like, dude, like, what the hell? You're creepy as hell, Mulder. Seriously. Like, how many levels is Baku, like, he's staying in a room, right? And I assume that's like high up. Like, I can't believe the extent that Mulder had to do. Like, you could just okay, Mulder have you ever heard of a door? Have you ever heard of a door? Just go inside the building and go into Baku's room while Minami is gone. And if Minami stumbles inside, just make up something. But come on. He's a literal Spider-Man at this point, because my God, he likes to climb up people's buildings. But in any case, I'm rambling. So Mulder just pops out outside of the window, and he tells Baku, to rest, of course, to chill, don't worry about it, let me and Scully handle the situation. And then this is the part where I'm really like shaking my head or rubbing my hair as to the situation with Shep Sano, because apparently Shep Sano is at the very same hospital that Baku is staying at. And the reason why he's at the hospital is because apparently he collapsed last night. And Baku was like, wait a minute, hold it. I just healed his ass. Like, why is he in the hospital for? And Mulder said, well, he has a scheduled surgery on the very same day that he was supposedly going to go to do the conference thing. So the conference and the surgery were at the same day. So that's why he cannot go there personally and cook and whatnot. And this is the part where it doesn't make any sense in terms of, okay, what's the limit of what this recovery capsium does have, whatever. I'm like, doesn't the capsium heal and repair everything? So you would think that, okay, it cured the chef's poison. How come it did not cure his condition? Like, let's say if it's cancer or AIDS. I don't know what it is, because Mulder never specifically said what was the condition, all other than, well, he's going to have surgery for that said condition. But again, like, it's a recovery capsium. It's supposed to heal and repair just about anything. So it's just, it doesn't make sense to me. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, wait, so it can cure poison, but it cannot cure the chef's condition. Because if he would have cured the condition, then there was no need to do the surgery. He would have just went to the conference and cook. But I don't know. It's just weird as to why he got cured for the poison but not the condition. But in any case, so Mulder tells him that, and so he explained that he has surgery on the same day of the conference. That's why he cannot show up, and he has his sous chefs to do it for him. And then before Mulder could talk a little bit more, guess who stumbles in Baku's room? His sister, Minami. And Baku is trying to hide Mulder, but then, no, it's just like, no, Minami saw his hand, so yeah. So we go to the next scene, and you see Baku still resting. It's in the middle of the night, and he is wondering what the hell is Sano's nightmare is about, like what's going on. And he makes a hospital break. And just like his mentor, air quotes, Mulder, like he doesn't know the meaning of the word door. There's a door. There's a hallway. Just walk around in the hospital. Instead, he does a Spider-Man thing. He just goes out from the window and he just does the Spider-Man thing on the side of the building, just like Mulder. God. And he came to the window of Shep Sano, and he looks through it and he sees Shep Sano like almost like in a coma, and you see the sous chefs just watching over him. And this is where Baku is spying, and he remembers the pictures that he saw when he went inside the Frou restaurant. And this is where he realizes something. Okay, so back to Dreamland. Baku meets up with Nem at the spy room, and Zero presumes that he has found the door to darkness. Just kidding. Not the door to darkness. It's not Kingdom Hearts or the pathetic excuse of a seasoned Garchard. No, nothing like that. Baku apparently has found the location of where Sano's mind doors could be at. And he said that, hey, I found it, and it's at the Royal Shogunate restaurant. And so we have a moment between Zero, Baku, and Nem, and all three of them go to the old restaurant. And then we go back to the real world with Mulder, and he encounters the director and asks him, why didn't you stop, the restaurant from catering the conference? I'm telling you that if you let this happen, these two politicians will die, and it will cause World War III. Like, how could you, director? I thought you were on my side here. I thought you were going to help us. Which I don't understand, because the director said that he's willing to help the paranormal team by, being the outsider here. But it's just, to me, he's not helping anything. Like, Mulder is trying his hardest to be like, hey, this is poison. You cannot eat this from this restaurant. Can you stop it? Can you move or have somebody else cater for you politicians? Just please don't use them. But the director said, just like the prime minister or whoever from last week said, it's the politician's idea. He wants to try the restaurant, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he wants something, he will get it. It is what it is. And so, so the president of this whatever country wants to taste their food. And then at the same time, you see the sous chefs taking their time, getting their stuff together. And, like I said, the sous chef is going to take over because, the head chef is incapable of doing so because he's at the hospital. And so before the scene ends, the director said, look, if you believe this black case, then give me evidence. Give me what I want. Give me proof. If you give me proof, I will stop the conference from happening and have it postponed. And which gave Mulder determination to find that set proof. And so we go to Dreamland, and Baku and Nem goes inside the restaurant and sees, the two mine doors already open, and still, the third one left to be open. And so he looks inside the keyhole and sees the conference with the two politicians dead. And then Mem asks, how did you know that the doors will be here? And before Baku could say anything, he goes to the next room and sees an old cookbook. And he says, and at the very end of the cookbook, it says, the legacy of the loyal, passing traditions, favors to the next generation. And so Baku realizes that after reading this, that Sano wants his apprentices to take over eventually. He was hard on them because he cares about them very much. And it's weird because in real life, you have like teachers being hard on you, students, and maybe co-workers and all that being hard on you. The reason why is because, they want you to learn. They want you to succeed because they're not going to be around for much longer, and they want to pass, the legacy down to the next generation because it's a sense of love. Baku claims that the nightmare has twisted those feelings into a bad dream. As if, okay, these apprentices suck. They cannot, continue on with my legacy. So might as well burn everything down. I'm going to take the restaurant, all the recipes down with me because I have two lousy apprentices who just doesn't make it right. My recipes end up sucking because of that. That's the twisting of the nightmare that Baku claims. And so we get a call from Zero, and he said that, hey, the soul ships are on the way to the conference, so you have to wrap it up. And then we get to the next scene with the politicians meeting at the secret house. Well, in the same fashion, in Dreamland, Sano is entering the house. So in the real world, you have the sous chefs entering the house, while in Dreamland, you have, Chef Sano entering the house. And so we have Mulder, who somehow discovered the secret house where the conference is being held, and he is trying his best to persuade the politicians that, please, I'm begging you, do not go through with this. At least find another caterer to give you some food. Just please, I'm begging you, because if you do, it could be the last thing you could ever do. But of course, Mulder is getting the boot, and then you have Scully showing up. And I remember one of the Secret Service was trying to kick Mulder out, and then Scully just sidekicks the Secret Service agent, and Mulder was like, oh, Scully, you do care about me. And Scully's like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, she's the only sane one in the group, and I like Lobo in this because she's just like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I should be doing like normal cop stuff. Instead, I'm stuck in this paranormal thing with black cases and dreams and Freddy Kruegers. Like, what the hell? So we get a scene with the cook's cook, and the nightmare comes in and tries to poison the food, but gets sucked away somehow by Baku. And then we get to the next scene where we see, Baku transform into Recovery Zeztz, and the fight begins. And he swings his axe, right? And then Nox shows up and meets up with Nem, and Nem is asking, who the hell are you? Like, why do you keep showing up and giving out evil monologues? Like, tell me, who the hell are you? And he just pulls a Decade and says, I'm just a wanderer of dreams. I wish he could have said, I'm a passing through dream warrior, whatever. Remember that. He would have pulled, like, damn. He pulled a Decade, but nope. He somewhat did, but yeah. He says to Nem that I'm a wanderer of dreams, unlike you. And you see a close shot of Nem's earring, and it's a butterfly. So again, the butterflies and Nem are connected. And so as the three cooks, Chef Sano in Dreamland and his soul chefs in the real world, are preparing and presenting their food in front of the politicians, Nox takes a swing out of with his long sword and destroys Baku's axe. And then Baku used the capsium to repair the axe. And this causes Nox to go, like, he doesn't contain himself because he's just like, finally, I found it. It's the thing I've been looking for. Oh my god, it's it. That's it. The calcium I'm looking for. I want it. I want it mine. So Baku heals his axe, and Nox goes out cray cray, and and this is like a race against time here because Baku really needs to kill the nightmare before the politicians, take their first bite, or else World War III happens. And so Scully gives word to Mulder. Oh wait, I'm ahead of myself here. So race against time, and then Baku successfully destroys the poison nightmare, which causes the poison to dissolve, and the politicians are okay. There's no World War III. And then we get to the next scene with Scully saying, hey Mulder, nothing bad happened in the conference. They're okay. It's fine. And then, Scully said, look, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to help you find out what happened to your, to my predecessor, your old partner. And Mulder's all happy and giddy. And, he believes that, his old partner's disappearance is related to a black case. It is a black case, according to him. And then we see the shocking reveal that his old partner is no one except Knox. And his name, his human name is called Kensei Okada. So, yes. So, Kensei Okada is actually Knox. And then, after this big reveal, Knox steals the recovery capsule, and Baku's like, what the hell are you planning to do with that? And he said, I too have something to restore in the real world. And he disappears with it. And that's how the episode ends. Now, here's my theory when it comes to Knox / Kensei. I believe that Kensei had a nightmare. The nightmare took control over his body, and therefore Kensei became Knox. That's my theory there. Or maybe Knox was in disguise, air quotes, as Kensei, and and decides that, hey, after a year I'm gonna leave. Like I don't know, but I think my first theory, my only theory, that I believe that Kensei has encountered a nightmare. It defeated him, took over his body, and became Knox. That's the only logical explanation that I can think of. But knowing Tatsuya, I think he's gonna pull something different. But everything points to that direction. But you never know. But in any case, it's an okay episode. We learned that Chef Sano is trying to pass his teachings to the next generation, to his sous chefs, because he knows that he's up there in age, and he's very strict because he wants, everything to a T. And yeah, and you kind of feel bad for him. And the nightmare twisted it up, like according to Baku and whatnot. Funny moments with Minami, the overprotective sister, and the whole climbing the building. I mean, come on, people. Have you ever, there's a door, right? You can just go in there. But no, we're going to have more moments of Mulder, Scully, and Baku just scaling buildings like spider people. So, yeah. What's up with them and climbing walls? Yeah. But in any case, Knox has stolen the capsium. We don't know yet what he's planning to do with it. All we know that he's going to use it to repair his longsword so he could transform into a Kamen Rider. And then after that, the question is he going to use it to heal Nem from her coma? Or he's not going to use it anymore. He's going to keep it. Obviously, he's not going to give it back to Baku. So Baku, either he's gonna have another one, or eventually he's gonna get it back, some way, somehow. In any case, thank you so much for listening. Give me your opinions about the episode. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? Even though I have my notes in front of me. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of Oblivion. Johnny!